Texas. We are continuing all this girl boss magic on your Saturday. And our next guest is a friend of the show, Olivia Odileke. She's also known as the campus coach for more than 10 years. She's worked as an educator and became a national trainer. So I'm excited to have you here today. Olivia, welcome to the show, girlfriend.
Boop, boop. Awesome. Natalie.
Yeah, so happy to have you.
We are so happy to have you, Olivia, and what an honor to have a teacher with us today. Yeah. And Olivia, I would like to begin by asking you, what inspires a teacher and what inspired you to want to teach?
No, that's a great question. You know, inspiration is very low today. You know, people always look to teachers for inspiration, but teachers need inspiration now because we're burnt out, we're feeling overwhelmed, underpaid, and we need inspiration. So what it really boils down to is you got to know your why. And I'm always asking myself that question. I actually can write a dissertation about it because I begin with the end in mind, and I'm looking at the potential in my students. So my why is I get to give the joy of learning to students, and not only to students, but also to teachers, because we got to love to learn too. And we got to make this thing fun. Because when we make it fun, there's so many things we can create and innovate. And I look at students today as like the innovators. And I am inspired by the innovation and that creativity and the ideas that's going to come from our youth.
It is. That is like so beautiful. And it's funny that you discuss, you know, that how hard and how tough it is. Could you discuss some ways that educators can engage their students, especially in a remote or a virtual setting?
Well, one of the first things I teach about engagement is you got to have expectations. And then when you have the expectation, it's very specific. Then you got to think about how can I model the expectation? So I do a lot of videos to kind of help students see what I expect from them. So that's my first step. And the second step is relationships. You call on their name. You got to reach out to them. And when they see that you're vested, then they'll be vested.
We can step it up too. We can't leave it all up to the teacher to stand in their excellence, because that is what we should be expecting if we are giving our children to these people for the day and hoping to make great citizens for the future. So I think that we can also do our part as parents to make the relationship stronger and more meaningful. And it's up to us to advocate for our students and our children. I want you to talk about this mission to transform education, because it's really what you're doing. And it's with a simple tech tool. And it's actually created a beginner's guide to nearpod. I want to hear more about nearpod and this beginner's guide, so teachers can stand up when parents and advocates don't.
So I said, you know what, Olivia, you need to share that there's another way. There's another way. And so I wrote the book, Beginner's Guide to Nearpod, because I saw it transform my virtual teaching and my brick and mortar teaching. And I wanted to give those tools also to educators. And we have to transform it, because right now the dropout rates are higher now than they were in the 1950s. And you say, why? Oh my goodness, like what is going on? You gotta help them see beyond the test. Like, I am preparing you for life.
That's it.
It's a whole line of thinking. It goes back to that, why do I teach? Do I teach? That's my expectation, because the standardized test is putting the expectation on you, and I don't go beyond that. So that's why we have to go beyond the standardized test. Do you know what we're teaching? Can you teach it to someone else? That is my mission. We need kids talking about what they're learning. They got to go home and say, Mama, this is what I'm learning today. Okay. Don't go home and just say, hey, Mama, I made an 85. No, go home and tell Mama what you learned. And then you're going to keep teaching it. And that's the transformation where learning becomes fun.
You also have a workshop coming up this October, and it's all about engagement strategies for online teaching. I'd love to hear about that. Can you share about that with us?
I have to change my whole strategy. So,
this
is like a 2-hour workshop to give them some strategies they can use with any platform to engage any student.
I appreciate you, Olivia, bringing new ways to just connect and grow. And coming up next, we're going to take a quick break. But first, we are checking in. We're talking education. We need to get educated on that TikTok. So Yvonne McGurry is sharing her TikTok tip of the week next.